Alright everyone, it's time for the biggest news of the day that you won't see on the mainstream news. The Taliban, by the way, according to the Biden admin, I guess has better border control now than the United States ever does, because they're checking on people's paperwork before they let them leave Afghanistan. That's the official line from the U.S. government with regards to the now known 143 American citizens that are stranded in Afghanistan. They have been abandoned. This is a direct and explicit lie. Joe Biden came out, remember legacy media, this wasn't that long ago, it was like, 8 or 9 days, and swore up and down, not a single American will be left behind in Afghanistan who wants to leave. They will all be evacuated from Afghanistan. But now he's saying, well, the Taliban's holding these people. It's not a hostage crisis, though. They're just waiting on their paperwork. They're making sure these people are who they say they are. Again, the Taliban, which is a non-state entity, is conducting border control, and the U.S. State Department apparently does not see this as a problem. This is considered a normal situation by Bidenite standards. The thing is, if this had happened, let's say that Trump had been re-elected, honk honk, of course, 80 million votes, 10 scoops of ice cream, whatever, and this had happened, like he sticks to the May withdrawal or he punts it back and the same thing happens, it'd be fury every single goddamn day. You wouldn't hear about anything else. COVID would be wiped off the face of the earth in the news cycle. You wouldn't hear anything about the economy. It would be wall-to-wall goddamn anarchy, and there'd be a million people marching on D.C. demanding resignation. But the legacy media is not even telling people about this. They said, well, it seems as some Americans may be left behind, Mr. Biden. But if he doesn't take any questions, which is very wise of him, then they can't really keep it in the news cycle. They can't repeat it over and over again. Biden has learned that by being almost completely absent, he can snuff the news cycle at any point he wants, and people are less outraged than if they knew the truth of what was going on. The average American probably doesn't even know the inflation rate. They don't realize, they see prices are rising, but there's nothing beyond the personal and the local. Now, first and foremost, as we get into this, pinned comment down below if you're watching this video on YouTube. Keep in mind there are 4 links there to other video hosting sites that will have 2 exclusives per day that are not on YouTube. So join me there and get your full clank. By the way, I am now live streaming on Odyssey. Odyssey link as well down in the pinned comment and in the description. You should join me there because along with YouTube and Twitch, I now do live streams, live reaction streams, as well as generally Sunday Q&A through Super Chat. That, by the way, I can do with Odyssey because there's tipping there. On Twitch, I think you have to be a partner before you can get Twitch bits or whatever the fuck they call them. Twitch bitch! Anyway, Biden has abandoned these Americans. This is an explicit lie. This is an objective lie. You'd think that would make it at least somewhat newsworthy, but the legacy media no longer functions in the journalistic capacity. Like Brian Stelter the other day was parroting his vaccination stuff again. People calling him a potato. He doesn't like that, by the way. By the way, he is only a couple of years older than me, but he looks like he's about 2 decades older than me. It's fascinating how people that eat nothing but soy age so quickly. You should get some more red meat in your diet, dude. It'll do you well. Anyway, Biden swore to us, and this was not that long ago, swore to the nation not a single American would be left behind that wanted to leave. We now hear, well, it's not a hostage crisis. Don't use that term because, of course, that was the term used under Jimmy Carter. We've already got the stagflation. We've got everything else that was happening under the Carter administration, rising crime, stagflation, every other problem. Please, please, don't let there be a hostage crisis. But yes, the Taliban is preventing these people from leaving. And we don't really care. It's not a big problem. It's funny, because it wasn't even a month ago that Biden swore this exact thing wouldn't happen. I don't think he's answered a single question about it. Even Psaki, when she's getting grilled, it's not like she's going to actually answer the question, hey, got a report, there's 143 Americans stuck in Afghanistan, blah, blah, blah. What are you going to do about it? Oh, well, I can't give any details on that. This is a fluid situation. Let me circle back around at some point in the future when hopefully the negotiating is done. Now, what'll happen is the United States will pay a shit ton of money to the Taliban and give it all sorts of other goodies and kickbacks, and hopefully these people won't get blown out of the air by ISIS. Hell, the Taliban might be preventing them from leaving because it can't clear the airspace properly. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Imagine ISIS. Literally last flight from Afghanistan to the United States. Bunch of U.S. citizens and shit, journalists and interpreters and shit aboard, some Afghans too, and it gets blown out of the air. Well, that would be a perfect symbol of Joe Biden's presidency, crashing in a ball of flames. That's what he doesn't want to happen. He'd probably be he'd probably prefer the hostage crisis. And that's kind of what it is, because obviously we're negotiating with you think the Taliban's going to not use this to extort the United States? Oh no, of course not. No, we'll let him go. Yeah, free and clear. It's not like we've been celebrating your leaving the country and mocking you relentlessly and threatening you for the last few weeks. It's not like any of that has happened. No, we want to be a normal state entity. By the way, our Interior Secretary Haqqani is one of the FBI's most wanted. Yeah, we're going to be a normally functioning state. We're going to stand for women's rights and gay rights and all of these things and have like a central bank. Yes, the Taliban is going to function totally normally, dude. That's what Biden wants you to believe, that there's stability there. But the Taliban aren't really bad guys now. They've reformed. They've been helping us. We gave them a list of all these Americans. Well, ISIS probably bought that list, you know. A couple of Taliban warlords got awfully wealthy on that transfer. Yeah, they probably left the Taliban. They bought their own cave. Now they've got their own little tribe out in the hinterlands and all the opium they could ever smoke, so they're happy. Biden has abandoned these people. We knew that they were there. You know, we got the lists. They were left behind. They want to leave, but they're not being allowed to leave. Is that not a hostage situation? When negotiations, and this is something that even like Blinken admits to, negotiations and talks are underway. They're ongoing on a day-to-day basis, constantly, between Taliban and State Department, CIA, groups like that. Well, I mean, what are they negotiating for is my question. What's the price per head that they're demanding? What's the price per head that Biden is willing to subsidize out of funny money printing, marginally inflating the currency more? How many billions of dollars are we going to give to the Taliban? I bet it's going to be a very measurable amount. And I bet they'll do their damnedest to hide the details of that, and they'll have to be like FOIA'd later on by Greenwald or somebody like that. It'll have to be FOIA'd. And then down the line, probably after the midterms, because of constant injunctions being issued by sympathetic courts, then all of a sudden you'll find out how bad the deal really was. And you'll find out that, oh yeah, that money, by the way, we traced it to them trafficking people in Libya or bombing an fucking aircraft carrier or something like that. Yeah, well, nothing wrong with that. Biden didn't goof up. He didn't leave behind all sorts of people in Afghanistan that could have been removed if you had just warned people to leave Afghanistan instead of lying to people, despite doing that phone call with Ghani that you're never asked about anymore. I wonder how that went quite quickly out of the news cycle. You knew the situation was dire and falling apart, but you told all the Americans and stuff there, don't worry, Taliban ain't going to take the country. It's all right. We'll have an orderly withdrawal and we'll push it back a little bit. It's not a big priority. Don't hurry your way to Kabul and get on an airplane now. Don't take stress off of the evacuation we're going to have later that he knew was going to end up having to happen, according to his concerns when he talked to Ghani. He was begging the dude to pretend that everything was hunky-dory just to prevent the Taliban from charging in even faster on a wave of propaganda demoralization. Well, Biden did that. Biden caused the fucking problem. He caused the problem by refusing to hold to the initial withdrawal. It's amazing how quickly people have forgotten about the very existence of all of these Americans in Afghanistan. We got out tens of thousands of people that aren't even Americans, but we left 143 Americans in there, despite the fact that some of these planes were half empty that were evacuating people. They could have been out by now. Should have been out in May. That's about all. Peace out.